In this Borderlands 4 video, guys, we're going to be breaking down all of the new information that we just received during the PAX West Borderlands 4 panel regarding Endgame, Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, and more. So that way you have more to look forward to once you beat the main campaign. And of course, for people that own the Super Deluxe Edition, you'll be getting what your money is worth. Now, right before we jump in, guys, I just wanted to do a quick reminder that we are doing a giveaway for this game. We're actually giving out 3 separate copies during the release week of Borderlands 4. If you want to enter for the giveaway for at least the public one that we are doing on release day, all you gotta do is drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and make sure to comment down below LDG. And also, guys, we also have an affiliation with G Fuel. Thanks to your love and support, make sure to use code LOSTDAYS at checkout to save 20% off your order, and it'll greatly help us out as well. So without further ado, let's get right into all this new juicy information. All right, so I just wanted to break down all of the different things that they talked about. It's over on the Borderlands website. I'll tag the link in the description so that way you guys can just click on it. And this is the article that you'll be reading. Talks about all the new endgame stuff here in this article. So the first one that they talk about is the Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, which allows us to take on tougher and more varied challenges for better loot. So basically, once you beat the game with your first character, you'll enter Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. So this is pretty much the end game grind that you'll get into, and you'll get higher rarity loot. You'll get better stuff for your build, and you can also strengthen your build with new perks and loot and all that fun stuff. But as it reads here, to access Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, simply finish the campaign with your first character. Like I said, as the name implies, enemies will be much tougher and deadlier in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, but the loot they drop will be appropriately more powerful as the rewards for your efforts. Playing in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode intensifies the risk and reward of Borderlands looter shooter fighter fights, and you should expect more demanding chaotic battles against enemies that globally scale to your level. You have to deal with increased damage scaling while your opponents get intimidating modifiers like higher damage, bigger health pools, or resistances to certain elementals. But should you triumph, you'll rake in big rewards, better loot that can supercharge your build, plus appropriately scaled XP and increased in-game currency in the form of cash and iridium. When Borderlands 4 launches, Ultimate Vault Hunter mode will have 5 difficulty levels, which are unlocked incrementally by completing challenges spread across Kairos. Will put your skills and Vault Hunter builds to the test, which is absolutely insane. Once you completed enough challenges, you'll face a climatic trial, a wildcard mission, which tasks you with replaying a mission filled with buffed enemies who have a new set of lethal traits. And then the last paragraph here says, successfully surviving the absolute chaos of the wildcard mission will unlock the next difficult Ultimate Vault Hunter level, creating a satisfying cycle of increasing your power and taking on tough but fair adversaries. Ultimate Vault Hunter mode is also designed to be welcoming to players of all kinds, as you can escalate the increasing difficulty levels at your own pace and take on new challenges whenever you feel ready. So this right here is actually really cool, because that way, once you beat the campaign, you'll have an even greater height to reach, and also, tweak your build in an even higher and more damage scaling fashion. And I know they said that Pearlescents are coming back, and I think they said DLC Pack 2, they will be coming back, and it's got like a less than 1% like drop chance. But of course that won't happen until you get to this mode. I think they explain it here. But moving on further, dedicated drops and other optimizations for the loot farming. They say that nothing worth has coming easy, so getting the very best loot possible in Borderlands 4 is going to require loot farming, something very hardcore players knows and loves. In Borderlands 4, the active loot farming has been improved to offer more variety and more predictable goals, including dedicated drops, other inclusion inspired by player feedback, and instead of fighting the same bosses over and over again in the same part of the map, you're now incentivized to take on the fight across Kairos and fight a wide variety of enemies in the pursuit of specific loot that you're looking for. So this is also great, because that way you're not doing the same thing over and over and over again. It can get kind of stale and boring after a while. In addition to the loot drops, hunting bosses across Kairos pays well thanks to contracts with completion rewards that include a valuable in-game currency earned through gameplay called iridium. These iconic chunks of purple crystals have made their way to Kairos courtesy of the Ellipsis Cataclysm, and you'll spend Iridium on endgame activities like respecking your specialization tree and spinning up Moxie's big Encore machine. So you can tweak your build and respec your build, but it's going to cost Iridium. Back in the Borderlands showcase, where they revealed the Moxie big Encore machine as a way to repeatedly fight bosses you've beaten without needing to exit and re-enter the game. Huge time saver. In Borderlands 4, you can spend more time, spend more Iridium to activate Moxie's big Encore machine and fight the desired boss site then and there, without the need for saving loading shenanigans or rebooting the game. So that's an also cool feature. So even for content creators that want to show off like a build against a boss, that's also really cool. That way you don't got to keep loading and loading back in and that sort of thing. They also brought back new challenges. So they're bringing weekly challenges. So after the launch of Borderlands 4, we'll also get all the paid content, especially all the free stuff when whoever buys the deluxe and super deluxe edition, get all that stuff. But in between the content drops, so like the bigger packs that have like new Vault Hunters and stuff, they're going to offer weekly incentives to come back to Kairos for fresh challenges and rewards. If you're looking to pick a new fight each week, you should test your might against the weekly big Encore boss. Everyone will get a chance to take on the same boss each week, which is a tougher variant with an even more rewarding loot pool, and you can face off against the souped up boss using the Moxie's machine. In that same vein of embracing new challenges, all players will get the same weekly wildcard mission marked on their map. Best of all, weekly wildcard missions will have a guaranteed legendary drop that you can repeatedly earn to get your ideal role, which is also a really cool feature as well. And then the last paragraph here states that to confirm that Maurice, everyone's favorite hewing studying Syrian, has managed to set up shop on Kairos. Each week, Maurice's black market machine will spawn in a new location somewhere on Kairos. If you manage to find it, you'll be able to purchase highly coveted legendary loot for in-game currency. Although its location will be the same for all players each week, the inventory on offer's black market machine is unique to each player. So it's not just unique to everybody, it's unique to each player. It's worth regularly coordinating with friends and joining the game if their version of Maurice's black market has a perfect legendary drop. So it's almost like having, so if anybody's Destiny fans here, it's almost having like Xur, coming in like every other week or every week. But it's unique that their role is unique to that player. So you could have something that's not really good for your build, but for your friend, and they can join your game and buy it from him in your game. So that's actually a really cool thing. So now we have firmwares, which are set bonuses that synergize with your builds in Borderlands 4. So the firmware system brings gear sets to the Borderlands series for the first time. So this is a first thing that they're bringing to Borderlands 4. This is a hugely important addition to the loot economy and will spark even more decision making as you plan your perfect build using the right mix of firmware. So firmware set bonuses have a wide range of effects, but they all have 3 tiers: a minor, a major, and a full. Minor and major bonuses provided by firmware are typically flat increases to stats like ordnance damage or skill cooldown rate, but full bonuses can provide unique effects like dropping down missile strikes or boosting your damage and lifesteal as your health gets low. Crucially, firmware does not apply to the 4 primary weapons in your loadout, and as it only has a chance to spawn on rep kits, ordnances, class mods, shields, and enhancements. That means you can only have 5 total pieces of firmware enabled gear equipped at a time. You'll need to make tough decisions though when you're shaping your build. Do you go all in to get a full and major bonus with 3 or 2 firmware set pieces, or do you spread out for a wider variety of minor and major bonuses? Choice is yours, but whatever you decide, the firmware bonuses go a long way to make your Vault Hunter build. So that's actually a really cool thing too. It almost reminds me of anybody that has been Remnant 2 fans, kind of like the prison system, excuse me, where you have the different bonuses and whatnot. Now, you didn't get a set bonus for, well, actually, no, because you had the legendary prism at the end once you upgraded it all the way. So you had like 3 flat bonuses for your prism, and then you had the legendary one, which did like crazy amounts of like other damage or really, other stuff like that. So kind of reminds me of that. So I don't know if they got that from there, or maybe that was their inspiration. They state here that once you complete the main campaign, you can transfer firmware from one piece of gear to another using the transfer machine. It's important to note that the gear that has the firmware transferred away from it will be destroyed. So existing firmware on a target piece of gear will be replaced depending on the gear you're sacrificing. Transferring a firmware can be a serious investment, but absolutely worth it to help achieve your perfect build. Firmware isn't exclusive to the Borderlands 4 endgame. You'll start encountering loot drops for firmware as early as level 25. So you don't have to beat the game to start earning firmware, but you do get them around level 25. But by the time you've reached the end game, you'll be acclimated to the ways of firmware that can strengthen your build and all that stuff. Moving on, they have these specializations, which is universal upgrades for all of your Vault Hunters. So I think this is more of the kind of like Paragon rank system, kind of like for anybody that's played Diablo. So if you have like Paragon levels on your account, and then it transfers to all your other characters. But it states here that the specialization system is a streamlined way to steadily and continuously increase the power of your character's account wide by just playing. So once you completed the main campaign, you'll unlock the Specializations XP bar that can level up hundreds of times, providing incremental buffs that eventually open up meaningful choices for how to strengthen your favorite builds. Think of Specializations as an endgame progression system in the same vein as Borderlands 2's Badass ranks or Borderlands 3 Guardian ranks. There are 4 basic nodes to level up on the specialization tree, which provides straightforward buffs to staffs like maximum health, shields, or gun damage. Once you leveled up a basic node far enough, you'll unlock passive specialization skills to slot into socket spaces. Initially, you'll have only access to one socket for slotting in specializations. After you've leveled up, though, you can have a maximum of 4 sockets. Long term, your goal is to reach some or all of 3 of the prestige nodes, which can only be accessed once you've leveled up enough and invested the requisite points in the basic nodes. As an example, they show here the Gadgeteer prestige node that buffs your ordnance will only be unlocked after you invested at least 10 specialization points into both Survivor and Brute basic nodes. Slotting your specialization sockets will provide a noticeable spike in your power level over time, though you're always free to leave sockets empty or respec spec points entirely if you're looking for more of a challenge on a new character after countless hours of leveling up. Now they also go into invincible bosses. So invincible bosses are a new thing as well. After a few months after launch, after you had some time to sharpen your skills, get your builds, all that stuff, they are bringing back invincible bosses who await challengers in a new arena on Kairos. Think of them as bosses on steroids, massive health pools, not literally invincible, but extremely lethal attack damage and new modifiers that can make quick work of an unprepared Vault Hunter. If you have what it takes, beating the invincible bosses drops some of the best loot in the game. Think of it like, I guess you can think of it like a raid boss, like an ultimate raid boss. So the first invincible boss, they're not expecting to be implemented till the end of 2025. So it says Q4, so I'm assuming maybe November, December, we might get our first invincible boss. So as I stated before, here's the new Pearlescent rarity. So this is above legendary loot. I believe these were in, Borderlands 2, I believe. I might be completely wrong on that. But yeah, people were asking for having that super, super rare above legendary rarity. So Pearlescents are coming back. They do add them as it's a free update in the second bounty pack 2 in the Q1 of 2026. Pearlescent gear drops will be critically difficult to find, but their power level will match their coveted rarity. And I think they said the drop rate was going to be like less than 1%. So it's almost like getting fucking shards from Apex Legends, getting the heirloom shards, which are like less than 1%. So hopefully we can get one. And then they just talk about all the upcoming paid and free content. So anybody that has the Super Deluxe Edition will, they're going to provide updates and stuff like that for all of the new Vault Hunters and new missions, new weapons, and all that fun stuff. So, but yeah, that is pretty much it. We got a lot of gameplay coming with this Borderlands 4, guys. I am super stoked, man. So not only do we have just the basic campaign to play through and all four Vault Hunters to play, then we also have all this endgame grind and getting, our perfect builds. And of course, we're going to be doing all sorts of gameplay builds, everything of this sort. So make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel, because we're going to have so much Borderlands content, guys. I'm so stoked. So if you guys are excited for this kind of content, man, make sure to drop it down in the comments below. If you're excited, make sure to enter for the giveaway, guys. And of course, once we get closer to release day, we're going to have so much Borderlands 4 content. I cannot wait. So that's going to be it from us, guys. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Deuces.